Hi there, my name is Phil Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I believe it was Oscar Wilde who said, it is better to keep one's mouth closed and have all around you think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. And who did not heed to those very, very sage-like words? Those words of wisdom. Who did not heed? Well, me, obviously. Any loudmouth on YouTube channel does not heed those words. But who else didn't heed those words? It is, of course, round-headed Ryan Johnson. Now, I would suggest, this is just, listen, I'm just a rabbi. What can I tell you? I don't know what to say. But I would suggest, if you are the human being that wandered into a blissful, happy, unified, wonderful area, wonderful space, and then added your contribution to that space and left it a hideously divided wasteland of hatred and division, probably you are not the best person to weigh in with a hot take on a genuinely divisive and already divisive contentious situation. Although I don't understand why this is divisive and contentious. And I do understand why people it's divisive and contentious, because people are idiots. People are absolute morons. Listen, this is really, really simple. Somebody dying, someone being killed through police brutality, while other policemen move on. Watch on, which is what seems to happen to me. Although I have to tell you, this is just a complete aside. Really important. This is really good advice to everybody. Know what you know. Know what you know and know what you don't know. Just look at whatever you've been shown, and that's what you know. Know what you know and know what. So I don't know honestly, I haven't seen the clip. I haven't seen the clip of him being killed because I don't want to see that. Really, I am not a faces of death kind of guy. But I don't think anybody's lying about it. I think he was killed. Yeah, absolutely, unlawfully for no bloody reason. And I think there should be genuine consequence to that. Okay, I think that was a bad thing, and I think as every sane human being thinks it's a bad thing. Equally, I think destroying businesses. I saw a video of this little woman being beaten by a gang of kids. Being gang of kids, mass over, so they could trash her store. I get that. That's wrong. Two things can be wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. That was my video of yesterday. Two wrongs don't make a right, and there are many, many wrongs over and over and over again. So I would say if you're in and honestly, I don't think is that divisive a situation. I think it's being portrayed as an incredibly divisive situation because I think there are really evil, disingenuous people that want to propagate the myth that America is an evil, bigoted place, and there's a race war and people are rising up and throwing off oppression. I think that's a narrative that they love, and they love that narrative. They don't care what misery in that narrative goes. They don't care that narrative is detached from reality because it meets their political gains, because they are terrible, terrible people. So let's put Ryan Johnson into that mix. let's put round-headed Ryan Johnson into that mix and see what's going to happen. So fine. Before I get there, can I ask you guys, can you hit the subscribe button? I am getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers. Can you hit the like button, the share button, mostly the subscribe button? Hit that subscribe button. I am really, really, really pathetically grateful for everybody doing it. Go check the video notes. I'm grateful for you just turning up to watch this video. Really, I am. Go check the video notes. There's a science fiction audio story you can to download called The Tomorrow People, The New Gods. It's a really fun little thing. It used to be commercially available, but not anymore. That's why I'm put it for free to download. If it ever becomes commercially available again, maybe you should pay the people who are selling it. But as of right now, it's all free. Also, if you subscribe, you can enter my weekly competitions. This week, we're giving away a movie that if you don't have in your DVD collection, you need in your DVD collection. The original 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Fantastic 2-disc special edition of it. Tons of it. Really, they made DVDs so much better than that. DVD has better extras and bonus footage than most Blu-rays have today. It's got 4 or 5 documentaries, 4 or 5 commentaries. Anyway, so all you got to do is win it. To win it is subscribe to the channel and leave the hashtag webhead in the comments. Fine. So let's look at the stupidity round-headed Ryan Johnson. This is from the wonderful Bounding into Comics. Don't go to Bleeding Cool. Bounding into Comics by John F. Trent. A great website. I recommend highly. So it says the Star Wars: The Last Jedi director responds to New York Times headline about President Trump's vowing to end the chaos, which they don't want. They don't want to end the chaos. They want chaos. They want misery. They want your life to be terrible while they live in their gated communities. That's basically what J.J. Abrams was saying yesterday. Hot takes from Hollywood on politics doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. And Star Wars: The Last Jedi director Ryan Johnson is the latest to add his thoughts. Who cares? Who cares what your thoughts are? You idiot! You divisive, evil idiot! Johnson's comments come in response to a headline from New York Times that reads, "As chaos spreads, Trump vows to end it now." Posted by New York Times print edition Tom Jolly on Twitter. Fine. Jolly wrote, tomorrow's New York Times. Yeah, of course, New York Times. That's a completely fair and balanced, even-handed publication tonight. First edition, as chaos spreads, Trump's ended it. I don't think that's necessarily a bad position to end. Again, George Floyd, whatever his name is, clearly I think was murdered. Police brutality, and that's something that's terrible and needs to be addressed. Equally, the lawlessness, the looting, the rioting. Oh my God! I saw an MSNBC report with the guy was standing in front of a police station on fire, a building on fire, and go, it's mostly peaceful. No. When you're standing next to buildings on fire, that's not mostly peaceful. So yeah, ending the chaos I think is probably a good thing. Don't you? I think ending the chaos is probably a good thing. Yeah, I understand you may really not like Trump. I get it. He's a gross guy. Mostly, I can see that. But in the same breath, ending the chaos may be a good thing. And I think continuing the chaos is only is going to be to Era's detriment. The tweet includes a photo of the front page from the paper. Also includes headline: President Trump issues threat to send in military. What other options does he have? In process in 140 cities and bring 5 deaths and thousands of arrests. The chasm of race in Minneapolis, liberal bastion, before sunset, order and joy amid the fury. Virus. Okay, who gives a crap? The main head. Okay, why are we telling me all the other headlines? The main headline refers to remarks given by President Trump in response to a weekend of looting and rioting not peaceful protests, in multiple cities in the United States in the wake of the death of George Floyd in Minnesota. Again, I hate to bring this up. This racist police force, isn't Minnesota kind of like a very liberal city? Isn't like a very Democrat city? I'm just saying, it seems to be their house is not in order. And I think blaming Trump for that is strange. But okay, whatever. I understand. People really don't like him. I get it. And if you don't like him, that's cool. That's your right. That's how great it is to be a citizen of the Western world. How great it is to be a citizen of America. You, for the first time in human history, you have an empire where you get to decide who runs the empire and which directions it goes. You get to control that. That's incredible. That's unheard of in human history up until now, as far as I know. Maybe did you have elections in Roman times for the Senate? I really don't know. But yeah, it just strikes me as it's And if you're not on board for peaceful democracy, you're probably a bad person. President Trump began his remarks stating, "My fellow Americans, my first and highest duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people." Which I think, you know what? Imagine Obama saying this. If you don't like Trump, imagine Obama saying, "My fellow Americans, my first and highest duty as a president is to defend our great country and the American people." You see, if you feel better already. You see, it sounds like it feels. Imagine Obama saying it, and suddenly you don't hate it anymore. I swore an oath. Oh, see, Obama, he's so good. He swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation. And this is exactly what I will do. If Obama was saying this, nobody would mind. Okay, nobody would be having a shit about it. He continued, all American, but you guys say it like Trump. All Americans are rightly sickened by and revolted by the brutal death of George Floyd. Yeah, we are. It's the truth. We all are sickened and revolted. That I agree with that. Again, imagine Obama saying, all Americans are rightly sickened by. Again, we're 100% on board. There's not one thing anybody can disagree with right now. My administration is fully committed that for George and his family, justice will be so. And I believe it. I have no reason not to believe it. I really don't. He will not have died in vain. Yeah, I'm sorry, he did. That's really the tragedy. He died for nothing. Died for freaking nothing. For stupidity. That's what all this is about. It's just for stupidity. I mean, hopefully, I don't know what law, what legal option is there to prevent this happening? I mean, really? I mean, I'm assuming all these police officers broke the law, and they're in trouble for break. I assume that is the case. I don't understand what else. I mean, I don't know what else can be done, but I'm all for it. I'm all for again. Who is against this? Who is against stopping police brutality of this nature? I'm open to hearing it, but I think what people are really going is they're just saying fix it, and they're not thinking. They just want to react. They want to feel better. No, this is life. Life is like this, and life is often uncomfortable. Often uncomfortable. And again, I am not in any way pro his or defending his killing. But we cannot, again, imagine Obama saying, but we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protests to be drowned out by an angry mob. Exactly. The biggest victims of rioting are the peace-loving citizens in our poorer communities. Exactly. And cynically, that's what I think is really going on. I believe the Democrats of America are I believe all politicians are corrupt. Republicans are, but I believe the particular corruption of the Democrats is they want to keep the African American segment of their population impoverished. I think they want to keep them at the lowest ebbs of society because that makes them more likely to vote for them. That makes them have this. If affluence comes to the African American community, which I listen, I don't know Trump. I don't know him. I never met him. I never spoke with him. But I genuinely believe that that he just wants Americans to prosper. I really do. I think I don't think he cares about your skin color. He wants everybody to have the American. You know who I think Donald Trump is? Yeah, this is 100%. I think if you ever seen the TV show Mad Men, they have a really odious character in it called Pete Campbell, who I kind of like. They're a really odious character called Pete Campbell, but like. He's an ad salesman, and he sees like this incredible demographic of the African American community in the 60s. And he's like, he wants to sell crap to them because he said, I want you to have the American dream. I want you to have your garden, your picket fences. I want it. I want all of that because that is so good. It's that it makes for better people, makes for better life. And I think that's what Trump wants. I really genuinely. But again, I don't know. And listen, you out there may disagree with me. You may disagree with me, and that's fine. That's cool. Disagreeing about stuff is great. That we can do it is fantastic. But we don't need to burn down shops to disagree. And I don't think anybody's although the media and the Hollywood definitely don't want to admit that these riots are actually happening. They just don't want to do it. As a president, I will fight. As a president, I will fight to keep them safe. Exactly, I will protect you. Imagine Obama saying it. You would be like, yeah, I'm on board with this, 100%. I am your president of law and order and an ally to all peaceful protests, Trump said. I know a lot of people hate it. I know it. They like, I think it makes it crazy. I believe I've seen nothing to. I've never seen anything to make me doubt that. I tell you, by the way, I am gratified. The ads on this page today are less porny than the ads I had. There were all like swimsuit ads. Was it yesterday when I was looking? It was really. I was like, okay, fine. I'm not gonna argue what Google's trying to send me, but okay. He went on to say, but in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists. Yes, I believe that to be the case. violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others. And Antifa are not the good guys. Antifa are the fascists. They are not anti-fascists. They are the brown shirts. They are the brown shirts from the 1930s. They who want to beat anybody who has a different thought than them and a different speech than them. That is who they are. They are the fascists. And I am so happy they're going to be called a terrorist organization, and I want all their funding to be looked at as well. You know, any like Seth Rogen, idiot, donating to them. Listen, I understand you want to feel good about yourself. Think, idiot, and others. A number of states and local governments have failed to take necessary action so they safeguard their residents. That is correct. Okay, President Trump detailed a number of examples of crimes committed during the riots. In response, he declared these acts as domestic terror. I believe he's correct, and I think they're planned and coordinated. President Trump stated the destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity. Yes, and a crime against God. And this is saying that the Antifa and the other side of the spectrum, they hate somebody actually mentioning God in a way that they again. I don't think Trump is such a holy person. I do think that that he believes in God, and I think that's another reason why he's so hated by the other side of the aisle. America needs creation, not destruction; cooperation, not contempt; security, not anarchy; healing, not hatred. Justice has. I'm telling you, if he's able to like calm this thing down and get things sorted out and like he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. He should get if Obama had made the progress he had on North Korea, he would have got the Nobel Peace Prize. I'll remind you, Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for just being Obama. Okay, even Obama was like, "Yeah, this is a little bit premature." He not hated. This is our mission. We will succeed 100%. We will succeed. Our country always wins. Okay, great. President Trump then declared he would take actions to stop the violence. I am mobilizing all available federal resources, civilian and military, to stop the rioting and looting, to end destruction and arson, and to protect the rights of law-abiding Americans, including your Second Amendment rights. Yeah, okay, very good. So we're coming up to Ryan Johnson's really clever political commentary. Remember Ryan Johnson? Star Wars is kind of a happy place in 2015. A lot of people didn't like Rise of Skywalker. Not Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens. I enjoyed it. I thought that was a fun opening, and I wanted to see where it was going. Nobody knew how bad it was going to get. But Star Wars was, and it wasn't this contentious place it is now. Well, it's not contentious. It's a wasteland. Star Wars fandom is a wasteland. It used to be a vibrant place. Now it's a wasteland. People don't care. They've alienated most of the audience. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. And then all the other big sci-fi franchises just, yeah, that's great. Let's do the same thing. He continued, today I recommended that every government to deploy a National Guard in sufficient numbers that will dominate the streets. Mayors and governors must establish an overwhelming law enforcement presence until the violence has been quelled. I can't, really? None of this seems so terrible. But again, the reason they're going to say, oh, this is fascism, military walking the street, it's because they can only look at the response people do to their terrible actions and not their own terrible actions that cause a response. If a city or state refuses to take actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of the residents, and yes, let me point out, you may say all these businesses, they'll just be able to claim for the insurance. No, insurance aren't an unlimited well. Insurance just can't cover these mass acts of God. They're just not there's just not enough money in the world to do it, and there are going to be people who lose their livelihood. Again, that video of the woman I saw yesterday. This little old woman. I mean, she looked like in the 40s, 50s, and like a gang of massive people were like beating up on her so they could trash her store. And good for her, she stood her ground as long as she could. It was terrible. And anybody who can condemn George Floyd and can't condemn that is a hypocrite and a liar. Well, speaking of hypocrites and liars, we're getting up to roundheaded Ryan Johnson any minute now. I will deploy the United States military and solve the problem for it. Again, I get it. Now a lot of people hate Trump. I just like this kind of non-bullshit kind of approach because I hate politicians. So in response to the all-time coverage, President Trump, Ryan Johnson wrote, okay, let's go look at it on his Twitter because it's so wonderful. It's such a wonderful piece of political analysis. So Ryan Johnson wrote, "What a piece of effing hideous disgrace." I assume he's talking about the president. He's not talking about the riots. He's talking about the president because oh no, what a disgrace that these things might end, right? So then just go and look at the responses. They're hilarious. We got one person who didn't like the people calling Johnson out on his bullcrap said, "Grown-ass ma'am in reply is crying about a movie in this situation." Okay, this movie was the president. That movie was the president of this situation. That movie was our first, well, not first, it was one of the earliest attacks on our culture. And this is the result. This is the end game of that. This is all part of the same axis, in my opinion. I mean, you're the reason we're failing as a society. No, you're the reason. Who is this? Let's wonder what their Twitter profile says about them. A time will come when we will know what all this is for. There will be no mysteries. Who knows? At least it doesn't say him, her. Thank God for that. But most responses have been like this. Battle Gotham says, "Just like the Last Jedi. What an effing hideous disgrace. Just like the Last Jedi." There'll be somebody gif of somebody beating a dead horse. Finally watched it then. Okay, fine. That about the riots, or did you finally see the Last Jedi? Yeah, I can't imagine. These are few and far between. That's exactly what I said about the Last Jedi. It is not appropriate. Yeah. Let's see what Emma said. God, it's Emma, and it's got a guy's picture. Space wizards, sad robots, cat memes. That is so really. I bet you found it very appropriate when they destroyed Star Wars. Yeah, you didn't have any problem with that. The Last Jedi, yes, it was. So then, Camden hashtag Black Lives Matter. Not the time, not the place. Real life shit is being discussed. Not a kid's space. Excuse me. Black Lives Matter is I think it seems to me as culpable for this violence as the police department. It seems to me that these are not legitimate protests they're involved in. These are domestic terrorism. Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Listen, if it's a peaceful process, I'm fine with it. But Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter quite clearly says that all lives do not matter. It's been over 2 years. Get over it and start talking about actual real life shit. Okay, well, I'm sorry that he destroyed Star Wars. It's just something that a lot of people cared about and loved. And the fact that he didn't care about and loved it meant it was okay for him to destroy it. I'll take people's thoughts on Last Jedi for 1,000 the best description of Last Jedi ever written. This is a little meme saying, "Shut the F up! Shut the F up!" I thought the same thing about, oh my God, this goes on and on and on. Yeah, just look at this roundhead Ryan Johnson. That's no move. That's a virtual signaling hack. That's great. You know what? There's so much fun. Okay, Ben Solo lives. I haven't read their tweet, but let's see what Ben Solo lives. Right. Agreed. No compassion. Only a bid for power and not looking weak. What a joke of a. Oh God! It really. Oh, what a shock. You're a Raylo and you don't like it. No. Like again. What about this lawlessness are you on board for? And again, if Obama had said exactly the same words, it's my fellow American. Yes. If he said all that, you would have been jacking yourself off over it. You know you would. I know you would, and we all know you're full of crap. So this just goes on and on forever. I recommend you just go check out his Twitter for yourself and see him being very, very royally and aptly roasted. My name is Sheila Beckin, the Rabbi for Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.